All right, welcome to the Explainer Training Camp. Grab a seat, lace up your cleats, because today we are hitting the playbook hard. I'm your coach for this session, and we're going to dive into some truly groundbreaking game tape from behavioral economist Dan Ariely and his phenomenal book, Predictably Irrational. Together, we're going to break down the hidden forces that are completely shaping our decisions. Okay, let's just dive right into this.
So do you actually think you're in control of your decisions? I mean, most of us strut around thinking we're the rational quarterbacks of our own lives, right? Calling the right plays, logically evaluating all our options. But let's use the Socratic method here for a second and really challenge that assumption. Because what we quickly discover is that we are absolutely not making perfect calls. Our brains make predictable, irrational fumbles every single day. We think we're the ones driving, but honestly, unseen emotional and psychological forces are completely taking over the wheel.
Which brings us to Section 1, the illusion of control.
Listen, when we spend our hard-earned cash, or procrastinate on a massive work project, or even just choose what to eat at a buffet, our mistakes aren't just random one-off slip-ups. As Ariely's research proves, we're not just irrational, we are predictably irrational. We run the exact same bad plays over and over again, completely blind to the fact that our environment is pulling the strings. But hey, here's the good news. Because these fumbles happen the same way again and again, we can actually anticipate them. In this training camp, recognizing these systematic errors is step 1. If we know exactly where our own brain is going to blitz, we can prepare for it.
Moving right along to Section 2, the truth about relativity.
Here's a wild realization for you. Our brains completely refuse to evaluate things in a vacuum. It's kind of like an airplane landing in the dark, you know? We always need runway lights, a comparison, a reference point, just to figure out what something is worth. Let's review the game tape on a classic play here. The Economist magazine once offered 3 subscription options. Option 1, internet only for $59. Option 2, print only for $125. And option 3, a print and web combo also for $125. Wait, what? Who in their right mind would buy print only for $125 when you can get print and web for the exact same price? Literally almost nobody. But that middle option, that's a decoy, and it is doing some seriously heavy lifting.
See, the marketers behind this play knew you didn't have a built-in internal value meter for a magazine subscription. They knew you'd naturally compare the most easily comparable options. You see that print only for $125 placed directly right next to the combo for $125, and suddenly, boom, that combo deal looks like an absolute steal. The decoy magically herds people toward the more expensive combo deal instead of the cheaper internet option. We literally only understand value by comparing things that are placed right next to each other.
And you know, this relativity trap totally messes with our concept of time and money too. Imagine you're at a store and you find out you can drive 15 minutes across town to save $7 on a $25 pen. Most people say, yeah, they do it. But what if you're paying a massive $5,000 catering bill and the caterer offers to knock $7 off if you drive 15 minutes across town to drop off a check? Most people say, no way, not worth my time. But listen to me, team, $7 is exactly $7. We drive across town for the pen because the relative savings looks big, but we completely ignore the exact same savings on the big ticket item because it just feels like a drop in the bucket.
All right, Section 3, the cost of zero cost.
Let's explore the undeniable, almost magnetic gravity of getting something for absolutely nothing. Zero isn't just a price, okay? It's a massive emotional trigger. The psychological thrill of the word free completely short-circuits our rational cost-benefit analysis. When we actually pay for something, we risk making a bad decision and losing money. But when something is free, we perceive zero risk of loss, and our irrational brains just go absolutely wild, making us grab things we literally don't even want.
Take Ariely's famous chocolate experiment, for example. He offered people a choice. A basic Hershey's Kiss for 1 cent, or a super premium Lindt truffle for 15 cents. Most people rationally chose the superior truffle. It's a great deal. But then he dropped both prices by exactly 1 cent. The truffle became 14 cents, and the Kiss became free. Suddenly, people were practically elbowing each other for the free Hershey's Kiss, completely abandoning the vastly superior truffle. The price difference was exactly the same in both scenarios, 14 cents, but the power of zero made them completely fumble the play.
Which leaves us to Section 4, the danger of open doors.
This one's all about our exhausting, incredibly expensive obsession with keeping all our options open. We just cannot stand the idea of a door closing. Let me tell you a bit of a tough love story. It's the old fable of bird and ass. So a hungry donkey stands exactly halfway between 2 totally identical bales of hay. He looks left, he looks right.
He can't decide which one is better, so he just stands there, trying to keep both options open until he literally starves to death. It's a tragic, slightly ridiculous metaphor, for sure, but it perfectly shows what happens when we waste time agonizing over two virtually identical choices.
So how does this actually apply to us? Just look at these plays we run in everyday modern life. Buying a massive luxury SUV just in case you ever decide to go off-roading. Enrolling your kids in 10 different after-school activities just to see what sticks, totally exhausting them and your wallet. Or wasting 3 whole months choosing between 2 identical digital cameras. Just like the donkey, we sacrifice our valuable time, our energy, and our money just to keep useless doors open. Sometimes, team, you just gotta pick a bale of hay and eat.
Okay, Section 5. Engineering better daily habits.
Okay, team, pivot. We've diagnosed the fumbles. Now it's time to actively use choice architecture to design our environments for success. We gotta outsmart the system. First, we need to understand a concept called arbitrary coherence. This is when an initial, completely random choice creates an anchor that dictates our future habits. Say you randomly line up for a $4 Starbucks coffee one day. The next day, your brain says, hey, I did this yesterday and liked it, so you do it again. Before you know it, you are literally just hurting behind yourself, turning a random past choice into an unthinking, very expensive daily habit.
To break these cycles, here are the actionable plays to override your impulsive inner Mr. Hyde. Number 1. Set strict, self-imposed deadlines with actual penalties. If you procrastinate on your health or your work, make it cost you upfront. Number 2. Create a cooling-off period before large purchases. Walk away from the dealership, apply the ice glass method, and just sleep on it. Number 3. Ariely imagined a self-control credit card to limit spending per category. Now, while you might not have that exact card in your wallet, you can totally mimic it by using envelopes of cash or setting hard limits on your banking app. Pre-commit to your limits when your head is clear.
Oh, and here is a brilliant little everyday trick: the restaurant play. Ariely found that when friends order food together, they are unconsciously swayed by what others choose, often ordering something they don't even really want just to be different from the group. So the play? Order your meal out loud before the waiter even arrives at the table. Stake your claim early, get the free lunch of true satisfaction, and do not let the herd change your mind.
Finally, Section 6, your new decision playbook.
All right, gather around. Time for the final locker room speech. Let's summarize these core takeaways into a quick checklist you can take out into the real world where it actually counts. First, acknowledge your predictably irrational nature. Second, spot the decoys in pricing. Always look for what marketers are trying to make you compare a product to. Third, resist the emotional, logic-defying surge of free. And lastly, actively close doors on minor options so you can focus on what truly matters. Recognizing your flaws doesn't make you weak, right? It actually gives you the power to anticipate them and completely outsmart them.
So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. Before you make your next purchase, before you sign that next contract, ask yourself, are you truly driving your decisions, or is your predictably irrational brain holding the wheel? Examine your imprints, question those anchors, and start designing an environment where your rational self actually has a fighting chance. All right, class dismissed. Now get out there and execute the playbook.